So anytime I'm on the opposite side of a mic, or I am the one answering the questions, like for a podcast appearance that I do or some PR work, I get asked the question, have you ever thought of writing a book? And I feel like that's like a bit like asking a climber, have you ever thought of climbing El Cap? Or a backpacker being like, hey, have you dreamed of, hiking the PCT? It's like, hell yeah, I have. Occasionally through the years, a publisher would ask us, would be interested in doing something like that. And it just never felt like the right opportunity until now. And that's because we've done it for a long time. We have an incredible set of stories to draw from. And so the moment is now. States of Adventure, 30 outdoor adventure stories about finding yourself by getting lost, is available now for pre-order and hits bookshelves across the world July 23rd. When Becca and I sat down to figure out what we wanted to do, we knew we wanted to create something that would reflect the power of this rad community. So with the help of past contributors, our longtime collaborators, and our photographer friends, we feel like we've been able to make something that lives up to the power of these stories. For a year, we adapted some of our favorites to the written page, and we were able to pair it with remarkable visuals. Alex Honnold was kind enough to write the foreword for it, and now we could not be more psyched to hold the finished book in our hands. In the coming months, we'll be figuring out a few live events, but in the meantime, you can pre-order States of Adventure. The link is in the show notes. And a quick note, yeah, you can get it on Amazon, but you can also order it from your local independent bookstore by clicking on the bookshop.org link on the landing page because, local, independent, good things. Wow. Been a lot of work. This whole project's been a ride. I'm so grateful for it. In the meantime, I wanted to share an excerpt from the book. Chapter 1, 3 ways to have fun. So, my kids, they hate coffee, which, given their age, is a good thing. Actually, I don't think hate is the right word. Coffee puzzles them. Coffee sparks a visceral curiosity. When Dad takes a sip, they witness a look of contentment, or maybe hope for the day, or a flickering of imagination slide across my face. When they try it, they taste what could only be described as the remnants of a high school chemistry experiment gone horribly wrong. The bitter liquid burns. They gasp. The acidity gathers on the back of their tongues. The sputtering and coughing start just before they lurch away with disgust, not just at the coffee overwhelming their taste buds, but also the realization that they're directly descended from this crustacean of questionable judgment and palate. I have noticed, though, that through the years, they keep stealing sips. They seem vaguely aware that in the years to come, it is they who will change, rather than the flavor of coffee. That their own binary understanding of what is enjoyable may not be static. Fun, too, has flavors. In fact, it's got 3. Type 1 fun. Hey, it sounds like it's going to be fun. It's enjoyable in the moment. In hindsight, it's a blast. You'd recommend it to a friend. 10 out of 10, you'd say. It includes, but is not limited to, climbing crisp granite edges in the soft warmth of the October sun, floating effortlessly through 18 inches of newly fallen January snow, and a great conversation around a campfire following a long day. It is that feeling from childhood of careening down the block on your first bicycle, or the shriek of cold water pouring from the garden hose on a hot summer day. The majority of the time spent outdoors falls into this category. Then there is type 2. This is where things and fun begin to evolve. The flavor becomes more complex. Type 2 fun often sounds like it's going to be fun, but during the day's adventure, the definition of fun begins to stretch. This type of fun often begins or ends in the dark. After hours of effort, practitioners of Type 2 fun report relief when said activity ends, although they are not quite tired enough to admit it publicly. It is a weekend backpacking trip compressed into a single long day, a winter camping trip deep inside snowy ranges in negative temperatures, bushwhacks to unforgettable alpine vistas. Side effects include blisters, scratches, and the occasional bruised ego. You will exert past the point of comfort and confront the reality that a misstep in the wrong place will come with consequences. Fears are confronted, wrong turns righted, self-imposed boundaries successfully challenged. Stories are made. Type 2 fun is a place of learning, where skill sets solidify, horizons expand, and confidence bubbles up like a spring at the mountain's base. Type 2 fun is always a blast to talk about over a beer at the pub. Finally, there is Type 3 fun. In the planning stages, it does not sound like it's going to be fun. There are hazards to be mitigated, hard conversations about risks to be had. The gear list dwindles to just the necessities, and comfort is always left behind. The execution confirms the hypothesis. This idea turned current predicament is, indeed, not fun. The cold settles deep into the bone, enough so that it might induce a phenomenon dubbed the screaming barfies, where the rush of blood into overly cold limbs induces a pain which either makes the hapless adventurer scream or vomit, or maybe both simultaneously. Type 3 fun may potentially involve megafauna. Remember, one way to survive a bear attack is to run faster than your partner. Jokes aside, Type 3 guarantees discomfort, fear, and a slow erosion of ego until the barriers between a person and the natural world become so thin as to almost vanish. Congratulations, you are now a part of the ecosystem. But a curious thing happens once the adventure is endured or survived. Chris Darwin, conservationist, climber, and great-great-grandson of Charles Darwin, summed up the paradox of Type 3 fun best when he said, "Climbing at altitude is like hitting your head against a brick wall. It's great when you stop. Shards of memories glow like embers, growing into a blaze that sustains profound feelings of gratitude, friendship, or catharsis. It turns out the stars burn brightest at 3 a.m. Difficult endeavors contain meaning. Who you are in the mountains is who you are. Type 3 fun has a way of revealing those truths." While that sort of deep self-reflection can be attained in other ways, the stillness that comes from the grandest adventures has a unique flavor, one that some of us grow to savor. One thing is for certain, Type 3 fun makes for the best stories. This has been the bread and butter of this podcasting experiment we call the Dirtbag Diaries. So often we get the question, what makes a dirtbag? Most people think of young 20-something men and women frozen in iconic 1970s climbing photos. They scrape by on cafeteria leftovers gleaned from the plates of tourists in Yosemite Valley while in pursuit of the climbing craft. It's a romantic, stick-to-the-man, bohemian ideal from a different decade. And it's mostly make-believe these days. To outsiders, they were hedonistic slackers, but those on the inside understood they were chasing a physical art form and building powerful life connections in the process. The dirtbag spirit of those early Yosemite climbers, do more with less, has evolved through the decades, becoming a cultural movement, producing offshoots like #vanlife or tiny homes. It hinges around a few simple questions. To leave lives a meeting, should we collect the latest and greatest stuff? Or should we spend it with the people we love in places that fill us with wonder? To find purpose, should we seek out corporate ladders or build powerful connections in order to build powerful communities organized around mindset rather than geography? What can we let go of in order to find a better balance between personal passion and the wonderful responsibilities to family, community, and the planet? Inside these pages, we hope you see a version of yourself, no matter what leg of the journey through life you currently inhabit. Maybe you're about to take those first magical steps into the outdoor life, or you've built your skills and are looking for new ideas or challenges. Perhaps, as it is for me, you find yourself in the din of middle age, juggling to keep the quiet of natural spaces a part of my own and my family's life. Some of you will be returning to a simpler time, with more free hours and happy to move at a confident but unrushed pace. Our hope is that you go, you explore, you adventure, and you return changed. We hope you enjoy States of Adventure. Links in the bio. Check it out. Out everywhere, July 23rd. Thanks for listening.